Welcome back to FFB Amigos, and today we're talking about Ipswich welcoming Chelsea in their stadium for a match this Monday, for a Monday kickoff actually, at I believe 7:45 local time, Monday, December 30th. Chelsea's going to Portman Road to the home of Ed Sheeran to see if the A team can get a result. Our recent form hasn't been great. It's a tricky one because it's not like we've played terribly. We just haven't been able to be decisive. We come from first, we lost our winning streak to Everton, which is a really tough physical team that was able to close off and play very well defensively. And then we suffered a defeat to Fulham at Stamford Bridge for the first time in 10 million years. And that was really tough to deal with. And I think it's sort of the only thing that I like about this is that it shushed everybody that was talking about a title run because I think it's misplaced. It was misplaced, even though the players and the coach never sort of said anything that would lead us to believe that they fell into the trap that they were in a title race. I think that it does. It does. They got maybe a little bit excited. So did we. And I think we learned a lot about Maresca's limitations in both those games. And now we've also heard some shenanigans possibly. And I've always had this vibe with Noni Madueke that maybe there's some stuff. Maresca said it was technical reasons why he was left out of squad along with Vega, and he said that he didn't train hard a few weeks back. And look, I don't want to be unfair to Noni, but sometimes I feel there's these players that have a personality that is tricky. You have players that we've heard of that are, lackadaisic with training. Stars like Hazard or Carlos Tevez, and players like that. But sometimes it's not even about training. It may be like a personality thing where I don't want to say that they're lazy in training because that might be the case. Or sometimes they are focused on things off the field because it feels like that could be the thing too, right? There was some rumors that he had been caught at a club or partying or going out at that time he's not supposed to. So maybe when he's saying technical in that he needs to be more competitive, that they need to be more competitive, maybe he's not talking just about training, but actually as the life of a footballer, of being focused. Let's hope it's not that kind of thing because that's those traits are really hard to fix, to change. There's the legend Ronaldinho had sort of this party vibe with him, and I think that killed him his career after 28. He sort of stopped playing. So and that's sad for the rest of us that weren't able to see his magic as much after that. So let's hope that's not the case. And I'm not saying Madueke is Ronaldinho. I'm just giving that an example of off off the pitch and out of the training field, the training ground, how that may sometimes affect performance and the perception of the coach and what they conceive as discipline. And if we are a highly disciplined club and we want that culture in the team, I'm all for it. In any case, we're currently second with a few points behind Liverpool, which seems to be doing real well. I've said for a while, I think they're going to run away with it unless something happens, and deservedly so. They're a team that I think we're under City's shadow, and you know how I feel about that already, those of you who've been watching me for a little bit. In terms of injuries, James, far gone, no return date. Although they recently said he may be in and around the team, but I think there's a coming back, and then there's a coming back to his original position or to his original quality, which I think is tough. Romeo Lavia has me really concerned, guys, because him and Fofana actually, if their injuries may be long term, or they're the kind of player that won't be able to escape injuries very often. Let's hope not. And in the midfield, we are struggling because I don't think we need somebody else that could be a box to box, other than Caicedo in there. And with Lavia out, I think there's a problem. Let's see. Some people are talking about bringing back some players into the team, even Santos. But let's see. And Mudryk, we know he's gone, and I didn't think we would miss him much, but and I don't think we did because the coach where he should have made changes, he didn't anyway. So I don't think that would have changed if he had them available on the last match. So right now there's a psychological edge that needs to happen, and as I said before, why we weren't in the race for the title is that you need to win these games. The past two games we should have won, and not only did we not win, but we didn't take advantages. In one, we got the game turned on us at home. That shouldn't happen. So there's a psychological side to this, where now you're going up against the same type of opponent that you're supposed to beat. Now it's in their stadium, and the demand's a little bit high, and a lot of psychological is going to come into play. And I think the players are going to feel what the fans feel too. There's some changes that need to be made that weren't made, and I don't know now if there's going to be a change to the lineup before the match, and if there's going to be any changes in game. And if they do, they need to come in early or at the time that's appropriate. There's some talk about putting in Kunku instead of Jackson. I don't see the kind of purpose of that, especially as a 9. So there might be a tweak in formation that needs to happen, and I don't know if Maresca's there yet. In any case, looking at Ipswich, they beat Tottenham, which again is a very aggressive and fast team to play, and they drew with Man United, which is not much to say lately, but still, they're not as easy as we would like, and especially how they're going to play against us. I believe that if we don't secure these 3 points, we might fall into a sort of a tough spot mentally. And I don't know if Maresca will make the changes. Let's see. So going back to that, I don't understand why he doesn't play Joao Felix. He was the player that we needed to unlock. Or Nkunku, but Nkunku would have come in the 10. If that means that you shift Palmer, you don't want to take Palmer out and you shift him to the right, just so you can play a different 10 and give him somebody to play with, or the same thing, then sure, if that's... He is the leading goal scorer, and I know against lesser competition in the cup, but he can score them. And then at 10, he does better. Or Felix. So that makes me think there might be some off-the-pitch stuff happening, because there's no other explanation to me why Felix... I mean, you don't give him a run in a couple of minutes in those 2 matches. He's the player for that. Well, he'll grab that transition, midfield, carry the ball, take on a couple of players, play with some 1-2s. He wasn't brought in. I found that really weird. So I really hope there's none of that off-the-field shenanigans happening at Chelsea. In any case, let's hope it doesn't turn into a complacency. If that's what it was, it's like, we got it, we're badasses, we're playing really well, we're going to take on this opposition, we're on a run, and then we just got our butts handed to us. Then let's hope that it's not that. And if it was, that they already took their medicine with these 2 matches and realized how tough it is. And let's hope also that Enzo Maresca is open to make all the changes that he needs to make. Other than that, I'll be making another video, but that's sort of my preview. And I would say in predictions, he's probably going to rotate in some shape or form some players. So does that mean we're going to see Dizazi? Because I think the base is the 11 that he picked last 2 games. That's his strongest 11. And I don't think from the offset of the game, he's going to be like, yes, we need to break them down a little bit more, so I'm going to play in another 10. And I'm surprised he didn't rotate players as much as he said he would during the Christmas holiday. So I don't know. I think the base will be that 11, but I actually think he will put at least 1 and 2 players in, and I think that's why people think it's going to be Nkunku instead of Jackson, because there's not much else of who you would really put in. And I hope to see somebody in the creative. If in the first half he doesn't change and we need it, then yes, it has to be Nkunku as a 10, shifting somebody out to the wing. If that's Cole Palmer, that's fine. If he's not having a great match, if they have him locked down, if the space is tight. Because as a matter of fact, when he's broken the lock that they put on him in the 2 prior games, it's been on the right-hand side or on the left-hand side of the box. It hasn't been down the middle, where he cuts in or he breaks in, especially on the right-hand side, where he made that amazing goal. He did it kind of from the middle on the left-hand side on the prior game, but before that, and we know he can do that. He can unlock. So if they're tightening things up on the wings, it's not crazy. I'm not saying that's where he belongs. He's a 10. He's the best 10 for certain in Chelsea, and probably one of the best in the Premier League. But it's not crazy to say in a game, if you're locked down, okay, shift him to the right, put in another really strong 10 like Joao Felix in there to help him and give him somebody to play off of and take some players away from him. So let's see what happens. Please let me know, what do you guys think are the 1 or 2 players that you would like to see in this formation, or what is a tactical change? Because I think we're going to face a very similar challenge against Ipswich that you think Chelsea need to make. Please leave it in the comment. Please comment and subscribe. And again, every day I'm going to try harder and harder to make better videos for you and create better content. And as always, to the boys, if you're ever watching, to my Chelsea players, we still love you, we still believe in you, and come on, you Blues.